So managing resources is your management subject in CIM. This is your level 6 diploma, and it's part of the 2020 July assignment. The truth is, you got to be a great manager. You will start as an executive and you'll start building into your marketing job. And as you grow up in your career, you will need to manage resources, your human resource, your team. You will have to manage financials, you have to manage your processes, the technology, the knowledge in the company. So this management subject is a must do for everyone. Without this, your career prospects are going to be pretty bleak, because as you move from marketing management into general management and someday become a CEO, it's critical that you're brilliant in your management capability. Now, this is also what's going to save a lot of time and money that you might have to spend later to do your degree or MBA. And this is the type of subject in CIM that ensures that you don't have to do that or ever spend any money on that. You can continuously read, go online and build your knowledge on management after you get the base in this subject. Because this not only gets you the knowledge side, because it's an assignment, you're going to apply this into a company. That's far better learning than most of the other qualifications out there. So let's see how this works. Now, as always, 3 tasks at hand. You will select a company of your choice. I would really appreciate if you select the company you work, because you can really apply what you learn here from a management point of view in your real life experience from the company that you work. So your company research you do converts into a 2-page company background, which has to be further supported by the team you select. And in level 6 diploma, you are by now aware there are 4 teams, and that teams include market penetration, market development, product development, as well as diversification. Now this is what we call the Ansoff metrics. Now a team is same as a direction in a company. Some companies would prioritize getting your current customers to engage more and buy more. But if you're a company which is looking to go into new markets and you want to explore new segments, and that's an opportunity that you already see, market development could be relevant. So you got to think on those lines, analyze, justify your team, and include that in your 2-page company background. And all along the assignment, you'll have to appreciate this team, the overriding team. For both your company selection as well as your team selection, the guides are in your Google Classroom. And example, company background, team, how do you do that? There is a lot of support which you need to go through. Let's come to the assignment itself. Now, it's a report. Be always watchful for what the presentation format is. And if you go to your Google Classroom, you could easily find the guidelines on how you should approach some of these formats. So this is called the Candidates Assignment Submission Guideline, a document which is a must read. It tells you all what you need to know with regard to coming up with your assignment, how to avoid issues like plagiarism and collusion, how to do referencing, your margins, your font sizes, table usage, etc. So a report is not pretty complex, it's actually quite simple. So here's an example of what generally goes into a report. I mean, this is just a guide, you don't have to follow this in totality, but try to appreciate the outlook of this presentation, which is a report. We rarely do executive summaries, etc. at this level. So some of those things we'll discuss in our masterclass, but read it through. The next aspect in your assignment is to understand your command words, such as analyze. It very different to somebody saying assess or argue or describe. So you got to appreciate this. And the command word guidance is again in your Google Classroom. This is directly from CIM. Remember to go to your level, because each level, what this command word means is defined and is different. So if you look at level 6, so there you go. Analyze means new and abstract data, schools of thought, definitions, models. So there's a lot of work when it says, somebody says analyze versus appraise versus assess. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay, so our focus today, now that you've done your company background, you've uploaded into the Google Classroom. Most of you got your feedback on it, so good job. On task B and C. So analyze the effectiveness of the skill mix and the current planned activities of the marketing team. So you look at the activities that your company has planned. Maybe it's your sponsorship activity, your road shows if you're a B2B, exhibitions, it could be digital marketing activities, it could be campaigns that you plan to launch or you are already doing. So when you look at those activities, you can map those activities, and alongside you could look at the skill mix required and evaluate their working relationships in order to deliver changes required to support your chosen organization's objective. So when you say objective, this objective is generally influenced by the team. So your objective could be related to market development, diversification, new products. So you've got to keep that in mind. So effectiveness of the skills and relationship of that to the current planned activities, and there onwards to see how the working relationships happen in your company and how that helps or doesn't help. We call them enablers and constraints to deliver changes required to support your chosen organization's objective. So activities, skill mix, and the working relationships, that actually means the structure of the company and the processes of the company. How does one department works with another, working relationships. So example, when it comes to new product development, how does multiple departments work, what skills are at play, and how far does it support or block. So that's the conversation. You can already think of the types of headings you need, maybe a table or a diagram or a flow chart to show how things work, and there onwards you use effective paragraphs to make your point. Now we are looking at finding theory for managing marketing. So this is Roger Palmer's book called Managing Marketing, and you have this original book, so there's absolutely depth in the content. So you could access this in the library. At the same time, Kotler and Keller on marketing management also gives you an outlook to how management of marketing could be looked at to support your work. Of course, we've got the rest of the books online for you, so there's a lot of help to get the right theory and the right content in. You can also use any book you have that is reputed on organizational behavior, human resource, to understand this aspect of your task. So that's about 1B. And when you look at the task 1C, again, respect the command word. By the way, I hope you didn't miss the second command word, evaluate, right? So underline them, organize yourself. As you know, we've agreed to do a master file apart from the Google Classroom, because it helps sometimes to put a post-it note, a little tag, highlight, to organize yourself. So, and that's why you will highlight some of these key command words. On C, analyze internal and external data to assess the current performance of the marketing team. So, data in marketing is fundamental. It's the oxygen that we use to insightfully take decisions. So this is the space of marketing information system, and Kotler would give you the base for that discussion, and we have other books that can add to this whole subject of gathering internal, external data, processing it and presenting it for people like you and me to take decisions on your segmentation, targeting, positioning, your brand decisions, your product price place decisions, your channel decisions. So that's the subject. Okay, so you will analyze the current internal external data, and data has to be analyzed based on data quality, such as timeliness, accuracy, completeness, credibility of data. So this is the theory side of data and marketing information system. To assess the current performance of the marketing team. So how much of this data helps to assess the performance? So generally, most teams, if managed well, has a dashboard. Now the dashboard in your car, the dashboard in a plane helps you to get a good grip of what's happening in a company. So please bring that dashboard with the right sources where you got it from, and then we could link this data, positives and negatives, to see to what extent is this current data helps in understanding how far the team is performing. The second part is a recommendation. Remember, this is a big command word that needs serious attention. This is where you are recommending. Sometimes it's your board, your CEO, that you go and you will present your recommendation. Every recommendation needs a clear justification. So remember that carefully. This is the red zone, right? And recommend a suitable approach to recruiting required skills in order to achieve the organization's objective. So while you look at the performance and now you've looked at the skill mix, you found the gaps in the skill mix, you found some of the performance gaps, the data gaps. Keeping those gaps together, you'll have to see what skills that you need to be bringing into the company. So example, your company might have a gap in data science. You might find that in the skill audit. You might have a gap in design. Let's say you're an apparel company, a fashion company, a shoemaking company like Nike. They've got about 700 designers in Nike. So you might, maybe Odell, you might find such gaps. Specific digital skills like your social media skills, your web skills, because the ones who's good at the social media side of it necessarily won't be good at the website of it, the SEO, the SEM, and how do you get content in line with web. So you got to keep that in mind, and based on A, B, C is where you find those skill gaps, and you will look at different types of recruitment approaches to achieve your objective. Now don't forget the theme and the objective. So the recruitment approaches have to be justified based on the context of what we discussed, the skills required, and in the context of the organization, the way you would recruit for a small company to a medium scale company to a large company, the way you would recruit for a multinational company to a more localized company could be very different. So we are looking at, do you know the practicality of recruitment? So you could have internal recruitment, you could have external recruitment, and those recruitment techniques is what you will get from the books that you will be referencing from assessment centers, where if you're a digital content type of person, we look at the portfolio of work you've done, including if you are a web designer, we'll again look at your portfolio, and we might sometimes give practical exercises. So these are some ideas, but using the right books, we will easily find recruitment approaches, and then look at what would be the most relevant approach to find the skills that you have identified. Don't forget all of this, what you do has to be linked to the objective of the company. So interesting, as you could see, already we are getting you into the subject of thinking people, because people are the ones who build brands. You get sharp, smart people. If you attract great people and you retain those great people, motivate those people, they're going to do wonders for you. It's a tough area, unlike managing finance or managing other resources of database. Managing and inspiring people is always going to be a challenge. So this is what ensures CIM is a broad knowledge base, not just marketing, digital marketing and strategy. It makes you a great marketer. So I urge everyone who's doing CIM that wherever the level they are, take this module, because this is what's required to up your game as a top class manager and to grow you, as I told earlier, beyond marketing someday into general manager roles, COO roles, CEO roles. So all the best with task 1 on resource management.